Wolfpack, and welcome to another competitor guide video where today we are going to be covering Slitherwing, and Slitherwing is a really cool Pokemon. Obviously the Paradox Pokemon are all really fantastic. Now the fun thing with Slitherwing is the fact that it has a huge attack stat at base 135, not to mention that if you run this in a Sun team, you can boost that with Photosynthesis. So really powerful. Special defense at base 105 and base 85 HP means that you can sponge up some special hits, and base 81 speed is not fantastic but also is not awful. So what we'll do first is we will go through all of the useful moves that we have here. So in terms of singles, we have got things like acrobatics. Obviously if you're running a berry or something, so for example basically a citrus berry, your acrobatics can then double in power, which would be really fantastic. Body slam, chance to paralyze. Brick break, allowing for you to break down any screens, also boosting stab. Bulk up, being able to raise up your attack and your defense. Now your defense is a little bit lackluster, but if you get maybe 2 bulk ups up, actually you're going to start sponging up some defensive hits as well there. You've got close combat, powerful attack that can really hit super hard. Obviously it does lower down your defenses, so do be aware of that. Dual Wing Beat, which is a powerful flying type move, hits twice, so you don't have to worry about things like sashes if you're going for that Oko. You've then got Earthquake, powerful ground type attack used by so many different Pokemon and hits fire types super effectively, which you are weak to. You've got First Impression, obviously can only be used the first turn that you come in, but is a powerful bug type attack boosted by stab. Now if you hit that with a choice band in late game, you can just kind of switch it in, switch it out, and start using First Impressions and really butcher a lot of the Pokemon there. Flame Charge, in order to raise up your speed, obviously works really well with you having a little bit of a lackluster speed at 81. Getting +1, +2 will be really huge for you. Flare Blitz, powerful fire type attack, boosted, not boosted by stab anymore because you're not the Volcarona, but it is powerful attack. You do take recall, those two, be cautious there. Leech Life, allowing you to be able to get some health back, which is really useful in a lot of different scenarios. Morning Sun, allowing you to recover some health, which again, really helpful in lots of scenarios. Terra Blast is just a standard, really good attack if you're running a very specific Terra type. Wild Charge, which whilst you do take recoil, obviously allows you to cover a few different types, not to mention flying types, which you are 4 times weak to. Will-O-Wisp to allow you to burn any Pokemon, halving their attack power, meaning that your lackluster defense is actually a lot better because you're going to take half damage from everything. And then Zen Headbutt, which is a psychic type attack, can hit a few different Pokemon and can work really well in your favour. However, in doubles, this thing can only really work as kind of more of a sweeping mon. You have Will-O-Wisp and Stun Spore. Those are the only 2 moves that I would say are more exclusively valid to doubles. You can obviously run Stun Spore in singles, but it has got quite low accuracy, so you do need to be kind of cautious of that. I would say if you're going to run Slitherwing in doubles, then do run it as a strong sweeping attacker, maybe with Tailwind on your second mon to allow for you to be able to double that speed, allowing for you to go first and really wreck some damage. Terra types, now I've recommended steel types here because you have got a big weakness to flying types, meaning that you're going to take less damage, and also same with psychic types and also fairy types, but you have still got the weakness to fire types, so do be cautious of that, but it does cover the rest of your main weaknesses, which I think works really well. Electric typing, obviously you'll take neutral on everything except for ground, and it's unlikely a ground type will initially come in against Slitherwing because you already resist the ground type attacks, so that will be beneficial for you there. And also the ground type in general is a really good Terra type. I will stick by that until the end of my days, but realistically it allows you to hit with Terra Blast super effectively on the fire type attacks, and also takes away all of your other weaknesses that you already have, because it will go down to just neutral damage. Let's talk about the sets. So first of all, we have got Slitherwing with a choice band. Now choice band is a really fun way of running this thing. I personally really like it. It allows you to increase up your attack stat by 1.5. Photosynthesis, if you can activate it, so for example if you have a Torkoal, so Torkoal Sun Team, then Photosynthesis will allow for that to be able to go 1.3 times power on top of the choice band, which obviously is just going to have a massive effect. Close combat, powerful fire type attack boosted by stab, hits really hard. Wild Charge to cover your weaknesses. Flare Blitz to cover some other different types that you may not be able to cover otherwise, and also U-Turn to be able to get out of there. I really like when you can use a kind of switching move like U-Turn or Aqua Turn on a choice Pokemon, because that can allow you to get out of there, get into a different Pokemon, and get some upward momentum. So it can work really nice in your favour. If you want to replace that with something like Leech Life, that definitely would work as well. EVs, I've gone for max attack and max speed with a jolly nature, so more speed, less special attack, and 4 EVs and special defense. This thing, hopefully, if you have got that max speed investment, would allow you to outspeed non-positive speed Pokemon that are around base 100, meaning that you're going to have that kind of benefit there. But do obviously be cautious of the fact that you will have Pokemon that are going to be faster than you, so you are going to have to take some hits. Now, you can run Choice Scarf instead if you would like, that's definitely an option, but I've just put a Choice Band on here because that was my personal preference. Moving on to the next Slither Wing, we have got an Endure Salad Berry set with this. The idea is that you can increase up your speed, essentially working fairly similarly to a Choice Scarf, but you're not limited to your moves. Now again, Sun Team works really, really well with Slither Wing. It's a really nice combination in general. Now, Endure would mean that you take down to 1 HP, allowing your Salad Berry to activate, and then the idea being able that you can use Leech Life. And Leech Life will allow you to be able to get a little bit of health back, hopefully so you'll be able to live a hit, but obviously it depends on the scenario that you end up in. You've got Close Combat, again, for powerful fighter type attack. At +1, again, you're outspeeding the vast majority of Pokemon, so that can work really nicely just to be able to spam Close Combat there. And also Acrobatics. Now, Acrobatics doubles in power when you lose your item, so if you've eaten your berry after the Endure, the Acrobatics will double in power, meaning you actually got a very powerful flying type attack as well. EVs, max attack, max speed, with a jolly nature, more speed, less special attack, 4 EVs and special defense. You could always run the adamant nature here if you wanted to. It's down to your personal preference and what kind of speed support you have in your team. So that's just down to what you personally would prefer to run. Moving on to the first Slither Wing, we have got a basically a recoil set, but also a healing set. A recoil with heal. So you've got Morning Sun, which allows you to heal 50% of your HP. Again, if this is in a Sun team, it takes it up to 75%, which is absolutely fantastic. Leftovers allowing you to get that passive recovery every turn. Flare Blitz, powerful fire type attack, can hit really hard. Wild Charge, again, can hit really hard. They both do recoil, so you are going to lose some health there, but you can then run the Leech Life to be able to get some health back as well. So, Leech Life, boosted by Stab. If you run a Bug Terror type as well, that goes to 2 times power, meaning that you're going to get even more health back. So you can run this one, you can run other moves as well, obviously, but I just thought this is a fun kind of recoil recovery set. That's what I think I'm going to describe it as. EV, same as before, you can run max attack, max speed, jolly or adamant, it's up to you, whichever one you decide. You could even run max attack, max HP if you wanted to on this thing to try and sponge up some hits, but it's down to what you need. If you're running things like sticky webs, then definitely running the max HP becomes much more viable. However, the only sticky web users are also bug types, meaning you're doubling up on types, doubling up on a lot of the weaknesses, so it can be a problem for you in that respect as well. Moving on to the third Slither Wing, I have got a bulk up, basically a really defensive Slither Wing is the idea of this. So you've got max defense and max HP in terms of your EVs here. Going for an impish nature, so as much defense as humanly possible. Photosynthesis, again, you can run this in the Sun team to get even more attack in this case, because obviously your attack is 307, meaning that the largest attack gets the 1.3 multiplier. Leftovers, again, allows you to get a little bit of recovery going on in this case, which can work. You've got Bulk Up here as well. Now, Bulk Up works really nicely because, one, it allows you to be able to increase your attack stat, but also your defense stat, meaning you can become a very, very strong defensive wall. Your special defense is already naturally quite high, so that can allow for you to be able to sponge up a few hits anyways. You've got Will-O-Wisp to burn the Pokemon, halving their attack power. Now, if your opponent's running a very physical-based team, which actually I've seen a lot of very physical-based teams in a lot of the content I've been watching, that Will-O-Wisp, it takes them down straight away, and the bulk ups mean it's going to do less and less damage, meaning the leftover recovery is just going to get more and more each turn. You've then got Body Press, which powerful, more and more powerful the more defense that you have, meaning that obviously if you bulk up maybe 2 or 3 times, you're going to have a much more powerful Body Press and also going to be taking less damage. And then I put Leech Life on here as well to allow you to get some recovery in terms of your Bug Stab as well. So these do work really, really nicely in conjunction with each other. I really like this set. The idea would be probably to Will-O-Wisp initially, because that halves the power of the physical mon, whilst getting some passive damage on that as well, and then the bulk ups, and then when you need to Leech Life, and once you're set up, you can start using Body Press. The issue here being that you do obviously have the problems with your speed. Again, you can run sticky webs as a supportive measure to this if you need, but I think this set works really, really nicely in terms of making yourself a really good defensive wall. And then moving on to the last Volcarona, not Volcarona, Slither Wing. It's based on Volcarona, but it's not Volcarona. And with this, I have gone for a speed boosting set with having a very, very powerful attacking set. So you've got Trailblaze here, which is a grass type attack, but it boosts your speed by 1 stage, meaning that you get 1.5 times speed, allowing for you to be much faster than the vast majority of Pokemon, except for other Scarfed Pokemon. You've then got Earthquake, powerful ground type attack, hits so many different Pokemon for a lot of damage. You've got Brick Break, that can get rid of screens, but again, you can run close combat. It's up to you how you decide to run this. And I've also put Lunge on here. Lunge is a really interesting move. It does lower down, I believe, the attack of your opponent's Pokemon. So yeah, it lowers the attack by 1 stage, meaning you're going to take less damage. But again, you could run things like Leech Life if you wanted to as well. Again, works in the Sun team with Photosynthesis, again giving that 1.3 times multiplier on top of the 1.3 times Life Orb multiplier. You just have to be aware of your HP in this one, because realistically you're going to be taking a lot of damage as you go on, especially with the Life Orb 10% each turn. But the idea with this is that you'd come in late game, you'd set up a Trailblaze, and then hopefully be able to sweep your opponent's team. Just pay attention to any priority moves, because obviously they are going to be problematic for you. EV wise, again, max speed, max attack. I'd recommend the Jolly Nature just so you can outspeed as many Pokemon as you possibly can, especially if you've got the Sun there already, and that would work really, really nicely for you. I think Slither Wing works really, really cool. Definitely the Choice Band, Choice Scarf set is probably the most common set you're going to see with it, but it has got a couple of quite niche sets that actually would work really, really nicely in the right scenarios. So definitely would recommend trying that out. Obviously you've got the Terra type, so in terms of the bulk up set, you have got the Terra type ability to change whatever your Terra type is, meaning that your opponent can't hit you for the damage that they were originally going to hit you with. But with that, I'm going to finish off this video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.